The broken gift the night sky over Earth was calm. The stars shined, the moon glowed pale, and everything seemed ordinary. But then, without warning, the darkness broke apart. A fire streak cut across the sky, bright, burning, unnatural. People on the ground stopped and pointed. Children screamed. Dogs barked. The object roared louder than thunder as it tore through the clouds. It was not a meteor. It was something far greater, far more terrifying. The ground shook when it finally struck. Trees snapped. Roads cracked. A blinding flash lit up the horizon. And then silence. Only smoke, fire, and a crater remained. When the military reached the crash site, they did not find a rock. They found metal, twisted, shattered, alien-dotted. Was a starship. The ship was ruined, broken beyond repair, or so it seemed. Its hull was ripped apart, wires dangling like torn veins. Strange glowing symbols pulsed faintly across its surface. It looked ancient, almost dead. At first, no one believed it. Scientists and generals argued. Why would aliens abandon such a ship here? Was it a trap? A warning? Or a gift? The world's governments fought over the wreck. America wanted it for defense. China demanded it for research. Europe claimed it was their right. Even small nations wanted a piece of the power. But in secret, behind closed doors, they agreed on one thing. Keep it hidden from the galaxy. No. Alien must know what humanity had found. Dr. Lena Miles stood at the edge of the crater, staring at the broken craft. She was one of the first scientists allowed near it. The ship hummed softly, like a wounded animal trying to breathe. She touched its cold surface and whispered, "You're not dead, are you?" The metal pulsed faintly under her hand. Soldiers pulled her back, thinking it might explode. But it didn't. It just sat there, broken, waiting. Weeks passed. Teams worked day and night to study the wreck. Every bolt, every circuit was beyond human design. Nothing matched Earth's technology. Yet, curiously, many parts seemed deliberately destroyed. Engines sliced, weapons crushed, systems gutted. It was as if someone had tried to make sure the ship would never fly again. General Ross, the man in charge, growled at his staff. They left it here on purpose. They wanted us to see it. The question is why. Some thought it was alien trash. Others whispered it was bait. But Lena had another theory. She believed the aliens had underestimated humanity. "They think we can't fix it," she said one night. "But we're not just going to fix it. We're going to make it ours." The room went silent. The generals stared at her. And slowly, one by one, they began to smile. The secret project was born. They moved the ship deep underground, hidden in bunkers no satellite could see. Engineers, scientists, and soldiers swore oaths of silence. No news channel would ever know. No alien would ever hear. Humanity would study the wreck in silence, waiting for the right moment. But strange things started to happen. Late at night, workers swore they heard whispers from the ship. The walls seemed to hum with a language no one understood. Lights flickered on when no one touched them. Once, a mechanic fell asleep inside the ship's hull and woke up with glowing marks burned into his arm symbols that matched the alien writing. Fear spread, but so did fascination. "This ship is alive," Lena whispered. "It doesn't want to die. It wants to be reborn." Outside, rumors began to leak. Farmers near the crash site claimed they saw strange lights in the sky. Journalists whispered about the alien wreck the government is hiding. Across the stars, alien empires picked up faint signals from Earth. The galaxy began to wonder, what did humanity find? But humans stayed quiet. They denied everything. Meanwhile, underground, the broken gift waited. And every day, Earth's engineers worked closer and closer to unlocking its heart. One night, Lena walked into the dark hangar alone. She touched the ruined metal, the same spot she had touched the first day. The hull pulsed again, stronger this time. The ship groaned, like something buried deep inside was waking up. She gasped and stepped back. For a brief second, she heard a voice, not in her ears, but in her mind. "We are not yours. We were abandoned, but you will finish us." Lena froze, heart pounding. The ship wasn't dead. It was waiting above Earth. The stars remained silent. But in the hidden corners of the galaxy, alien fleets stirred. Some feared, some plotted, some prepared for war, because they knew what the humans had found: a broken starship, a gift or a curse. And soon, the galaxy would regret ever leaving it on Earth. The secret project, the alarm, was silent, but every red light in the bunker began to blink. It was 2:13 a.m. Dr. Lena Miles stood over the open hull, grease on her hands, coffee gone cold on the floor. A sensor had tripped on the outer fence. Not a deer, not wind. A shape had paused, then moved away, like a person counting cameras, learning the rhythm of guards. "Someone knows," General Ross said. His voice was low, hard. "We locked down. No one in or out." The team froze. The ruined alien ship lay under a forest of scaffolds, floodlights washing its scarred metal. In that white light it looked less like junk and more like an animal at rest, ribs open, heart missing. They had 3 rules now. Never power the alien core. Never interface with the ship alone. Never transmit. Simple rules, life-saving rules. They were building the ship back up from bones. Humans could not match every alien material, but they could replace parts with something new. Where the alien? Alloy was gone. They welded a lattice of earth steel and dense ceramic. Where the data bus was burnt, they laid down human fiber with tiny light gates. Where the thruster bell was cracked, they shaped a new throat and added rings of magnetic coils. "Don't copy," Lena kept saying. "Improve." The work was slow and loud. Sparks fell like fireflies. Lathes sang. Printers hummed day and night. The wreck had become a city block of machines. Cranes, test rigs, coolant tanks. A cavern of tools and hopes. Still, the ship was not just metal. It had a mood. When Leonard came close, panels warmed. When she spoke, microphones in the bay picked up tiny answers clicks, tones, soft pulses that felt like breath. "Hello again," she whispered, hand on the hull. "We're not here to hurt you." The metal throbbed once, like a calm heart. They split the repairs into 3 paths. Power. Humans could not rebuild the original core. It was cut out cleanly by whoever abandoned the ship, so they built a hybrid. Rows of compact reactors fed into big flywheels and supercapacitors. The ship would drink human electricity first, then wake its own deeper systems. Drive. The alien engine was torn and slashed, but not dead. The physics were strange fields that bent space a little, then let it snap back. Human engineers could not make it from scratch, but they could brace it, feed it, and control it with new circuits. Weapons. The ship's main gun was crushed flat, as if stomped by a god. But the grid that fed the gun still ran under the hull, a web of emitters and phase plates. "We don't need their gun," said Chief Engineer Okoye. "We'll build our own head on their neck." Every night, General Ross walked the floor. He did not smile. He did not praise. He just watched, listened, and made sure the rules held. One night, a young tech named Ari put a test board on the wrong bus. A blue spark cracked the air. The light went white, then black. He fell back, unhurt but shaking. "Sorry," Ari whispered. "Don't be sorry," Lena said, kneeling to check him. "Be careful. The ship learns us as we learn it." He nodded and got back up. No one left, no one slept. 10 days into the full build, they found the black box fused in a sealed rib. It looked like a rock with veins of glass. Inside, the glass held memories signals frozen in crystal. Lena, Okoye, and a small code team set up a cold reader. The ship did not fight them. In fact, the hull warmed near the table, like it was. Watching, the first images were not pictures, but maps in math. A star, then a line to another star, then a cluster of lines like a spider web. A route. A warning? Or a diary of the ship's last path? Don't pull too hard, Okoye said. We take what it gives. They found one more thing in the memory glass. A label for the ship. Not a name in human words, but a pattern that meant vigil kept in ruins. Lena did not say it out loud. She wrote it down and kept it in her pocket. The night of the silent. Alarm. Security found footprints near the creek and a strip of dark tape stuck under a camera hood. A spy had been there, or a thief, or a scout for someone worse. Ross added a fourth rule. Assume you're watched. Bad luck followed good work. A simple leak in a coolant line blew steam across the bay and took out 3 boards. A pallet of capacitors. Came in with wrong values. Marked right, but reading low. A supply truck had a new driver who did not know the passphrase. He turned around fast when guards asked him twice. Then a worse thing happened. At 3:41 a.m., while most of the crew slept in cots beside their work, a quiet burst of radio left the bunker. It was a needle-thin whisper, not human format. They. Message was short. The direction was up. Who authorized a test? Ross roared, slamming into the control room. No one, said the comms chief. Her face had gone pale. It wasn't us. It came from inside the ship. Lena stared at the waveform. It was simple, almost a cough. But in that cough was a signature and identity tag old empires would know. Shut everything down, Ross ordered. Now, they killed the main. Breakers. The bunker went to emergency lights. The ship cooled, the hum fading to a whisper. But in space, there are ears that never sleep. The next day, the listening station at the edge of the desert picked up something strange. Not from the ship, from far off. A soft echo someone out there had answered. Repeat it, Ross said. The operator played it back. A rising tone. A pause, then a pattern like steps, walking away and back again. Language? Lena asked. Not ours, the operator said. But it's not random. Ross did not blink. How long until an arrival if they burn hard? Days for a probe. Weeks for a ship. A beat. Hours for eyes. Lena looked back at the ship. Then we finish faster. They moved in shifts with no gaps. A red team and a blue team, sleeping in 4-hour blocks. Meals at the rail. Coffee by the barrel. The hybrid core passed its first warm spin without smoke. The drive lattice held. At half field without singing like a broken saw. The weapon grid lit in a ghost pattern that made hairs rise on arms, but did not arc. Next step, Okoye said, is skin. They laid a sheath of new armor over the gaps and burns. Plates grown from carbon and ceramic foam, stiff and light, coated in a matte skin like night. Under that skin, Lena's team rooted human nerves, sensor webs, control rings, signal looms, so the ship would listen to human hands. It won't be pretty, someone said. It will be ours, Lena said, and kept going. 2 days later, security caught the spy. He wore a worker's badge and pushed a mop. He had done small, careful things. Swapped a fuse for a dead twin. Loosened a bracket so a coil would vibrate and crack later. He had also placed a bug under the test bench and a bead of explosive in an access seam no one opened often. The ship found him first. A panel near his hand popped with a bright, clean snap. The man jerked and fell to his knees, Nose bleeding, eyes blank with shock. Guards ran. He tried to swallow the tiny transmitter in his cheek. He did not make it. Under the panel, Lena found a burn mark like a fingerprint. "Did you protect us?" She whispered to the metal. A soft heat answered her palm. Ross took the spy away. "He won't talk, but we know enough. Someone is." "Close." "How close?" Lena asked. He looked up, past the concrete, past the dirt and trees above them, into a sky he could not see. "Close enough to smell the fear we should be feeling." That night, the team made a choice. They would break Rule 1, but not all the way. "We give the ship a sip," Okoye said. "Not a drink. Just enough to see if it can stand." Ross stared at the big knife switch that tied human power to alien veins. He nodded once. "Do it." The bay went quiet. Even the air seemed to wait. Lena placed her hand on the hull at the same spot she always used. "We're here," she said softly. "We won't hurt you. Take only what you need." Okoye counted down. 3, 2, 1. The switch slammed. Lights along the spine of the ship glowed, not harsh, but deep like embers under ash. The new armor flexed and settled. The drive lattice sang one pure note, short and low. Monitors jumped. The hybrid core dropped by a hair, then steadied. No smoke, no scream. A single tone came from inside the ship. It was small and sure. Ready. The word did not pass through speakers. It landed in Lena's mind like a seed. She looked at Ross. It spoke. He opened his mouth to answer, but a runner burst into the bay from comms, panting. Surge of the system news signature just blinked in and out. Not a rock. Not ours. Ross did not look away from the ship. How long? "Ours?" the runner said. Lena kept her hand on the hull. The metal was warm, steady, alive. "Then we have ours," she said. "Let's teach it our language." "You said the human touch the bunker no longer felt like a graveyard of alien metal. It pulsed with life, now human life, and something else deep within the wreck. The morning after the first sip, engineers gathered around the ship as if it were no longer a relic, but a patient finally breathing again. Floodlights glowed against the blackened hull, sparks rained from welders, and the smell of hot steel and oil clung to the air. Dr. Lena Miles had not slept. Her eyes were red, her hair messy, but her hand never left the console. Every time the ship pulsed, she felt it like a heart under her palm. It didn't speak again, not with words, but she knew it was listening. "Status?" General Ross demanded, boots echoing as he strode into the hangar. Okoye looked up from his datapad. "Hybrid core stable. Power flow 23% efficiency. Enough for systems tests. We've mapped 57 alien circuits and patched 30 with human replacements." Ross grunted. "And weapons?" "Silent," Okoye replied. "We haven't woken that beast yet?" Ross's eyes narrowed. "Good. Not until we can control it?" Lena finally looked up. "General, it's not just a machine. It reacts. It adapts." Ross folded his arms. "Machines adapt when programmed. Don't make it into something it's not." But even he glanced at the glowing panels with unease. Learning to speak, to bridge the gap, Lena's team built translators, neural link chairs wired into the patched systems. Dangerous, untested. The first time a volunteer sat in one, the lights flickered, alarms screamed, and he vomited blood after 10 seconds. The ship had rejected him. Lena insisted on trying next. She climbed into the chair, jaw tight. As the system activated, she gasped. The bunker, the people, the noise all fell away. For a moment, she stood in a void of black stars, a broken ship drifting around her like the carcass of a whale. Not alien, a thought whispered, not yet ours, but close. She woke with tears on her cheeks. The link chair was still glowing faint blue. What happened? Okoye asked. Lena swallowed hard. It didn't throw me out. It showed me itself. Ross scowled. You're telling me it likes you. No, Lena said. It respects me. The human upgrade humans didn't just repair, they reinvented. They ripped out half-dead conduits and replaced them with human-made fiber optics. They rewired navigation with Earth computers, crude by galactic standards, but resilient, immune to most alien hacks. Where the ship's hull was scarred, they layered it with graphene plating, flexible and strong. Where power failed, they slotted. In modular reactors from submarines, humming like iron hearts. Every fix was not perfect, but it was human. Stronger, simpler, stubborn. The aliens abandoned you because you were broken, Lena whispered as she oversaw a new reactor firing. But humans don't abandon broken things. We fix them. We fight with them. The ship thrummed. A low hum spread through the floor, rattling bolts and tools. It felt almost pleased. First movement day 22. Run the engines, Ross ordered. His voice carried tension, as if he half expected the whole bunker to collapse. Okoye's team engaged. The drive lattice. The hybrid systems groaned. Capacitors screamed. Then a boom like a giant heartbeat shook the hangar. The ship lifted 2 meters off its support struts before slamming back down. Dust rained from the ceiling. Cheers erupted across the bay. For the first time since its crash, the alien warship had moved, but Lena did not cheer. She was staring at the consoles. Lines of alien script flashed across them, mixed with human code. It wasn't random. It was forming words. She translated aloud, voice trembling. Stronger with you. Rise again. Ross turned sharply. What did it say? That it's ready, Lena whispered. The leak, they weren't alone. A day later, a satellite feed showed an anomaly, a probe, drifting just outside Earth's orbit. It wasn't human. It wasn't natural. It was watching. Ross slammed his fist on the table. They know. The bastards know we've got their wreck. The room fell silent. Then let them. No, Lena said quietly. They left it to rot. We'll show them what humans do with garbage. Suspense ending that night, the ship came alive without command. Lights across its hull flickered, forming a glowing pattern visible even from the surface. Farmers in the nearby valley saw false dawn rise underground, spilling through cracks in the mountain. The alien probe recorded everything. Within hours, the data reached distant ears across the galaxy. In the dark halls of alien councils, leaders whispered in fear that the humans rebuilt it. Back in the bunker, Lena stood in awe. The ship's lights pulsed once, then formed a single word on her console: revenge. Whispers of fear, the alien probe drifted in silence, but its message had already crossed the stars. By the time the humans traced it, the signal was gone copied, relayed, and swallowed into networks they could not touch. The galaxy now knew Earth. Had the ship. Council of Shadows, in a chamber of glass and silver light, the Galactic Council gathered. Voices clashed like thunder across the circular hall. They were supposed to be primitives. One reptilian delegate hissed, slamming his scaled fist on the table. The wreck was meant to rust, not rise. A thin insectoid minister clicked. His mandibles. It was crippled beyond repair. No species should have been able to mend it. And yet, another voice said, low and grim, the humans did. The word humans spread like poison. Some spat it, others whispered it, but all felt the same chill. Images from the probe played in the air-grainy footage of the ship glowing with new life. Earth's crude scaffolding still clinging to it. To the aliens, it was an abomination. They do not understand what they hold, the insectoid muttered. They understand enough, the reptilian growled. They understand vengeance, the elder delegate finished, his voice heavy. Back on Earth in the underground hangar, tension grew. Heavy. Engineers worked faster than ever. Soldiers doubled the guard. But still, whispers spread even among the crew. What if they come for us? Ari, the young technician, asked one night. Not spies, not probes fleets. They will, General. Ross said flatly. That's why we finish first. Dr. Lena Miles stood beside the ship, staring at its dark hull. She didn't answer. The ship pulsed softly under her hand, as if it was listening. The message, the first clear warning, arrived. 3 nights later, Earth's deep space array caught a signal broad, cold, and merciless. Not words, not even a language. Just a coordinate string, followed by a fleet code. Ross studied the data in the war room. They're mobilizing. They're not hiding it. This is a threat. Okoye swore under his breath. How long? 2 weeks, maybe less, Ross said. His jaw tightened. They want to scare us before they burn us. But Lena leaned closer to the console. It's not just a threat. It's a dare. They're warning us to abandon the ship. And if we don't, Ari asked, they'll kill us all. Fear in the stars, across the galaxy, smaller species listened in terror. The story spread faster than light. The humans had rebuilt the ship of ruin. On colony worlds, merchants whispered. In taverns, they turned junk into a weapon. They're death worlders. Give them rust, and they'll forge a blade. They're going to strike back. And in the hidden corners of empires, old veterans remembered something else. Last time, humanity had fought. How they bled and died, but never stopped. How they had burned fleets with nothing but grit and rage. Now they had an alien warship, and that was enough to make whole star systems shiver. The choice in the bunker. Lena gathered the crew. Her voice was calm but firm. We don't have a choice. They're coming, and if we leave this ship half dead, we're finished. But if we finish it, Ross cut her off. Then we start a war. Lena's eyes burned. The war has already started. We just haven't fired back yet. Silence filled the room. No one disagreed. Okoye slammed his fist on the table. Then we finish it. Drive, weapons, armor, we. Make it human, we make it fight. Ross stared at the hologram of the incoming fleet. His voice was quiet, but every word was iron. And let's give them a reason to fear the name Earth. Suspense ending that night, the ship came alive again without command. Its lights glowed brighter, casting strange shadows across the hangar. Symbols rippled across the hull, alien runes merging with crude human numbers. Lena watched in awe. The translation screen blinked once, then displayed words in plain English. We are not broken. We are waiting. She felt her chest tighten. Waiting for what? The answer came before dawn. Earth's sky lit up with fire as something massive entered orbit. Not one ship, not a probe. A fleet. The galaxy had come. The first strike, the night sky above Earth burned. One by one, the alien warships dropped from faster than light. Great shadows blotted out the stars. Their hulls gleamed with cruel shapes, covered in weapons meant to erase planets. The world below trembled. Across cities, people pointed to the sky, their fears spreading like wildfire. News stations froze. Governments whispered in bunkers. For the first time in history, every human looked upward together and saw death falling. General Ross stood in the underground war room, face pale but unshaken. They're here, he said. His words were not loud, but everyone heard them. Okoye cursed under his breath. That's not a strike force. That's a purge. Lena Miles didn't answer. She was already walking toward the ship. The awakening, the hangar shook with the thunder of engines far above. Dust rained down from the ceiling. But in the center of the bunker, the alien ship, half rebuilt, half human, stood waiting. Lena placed her hand on its hull. Her voice was barely a whisper. "It's time." The hull pulsed under her fingers. Lights crawled across the plating. Consoles flared to life. The hybrid core roared like a storm, waking after centuries of silence. For the first time, the warship lifted itself off the ground. Support beams snapped and scaffolds toppled as the ship rose, steady and powerful. The ground itself seemed to shake in fear. On her console, words formed. "We rise. The first battle begins above Earth." The alien fleet fired the opening volley. Energy beams screamed through the atmosphere, burning the sky itself. Cities went dark. Oceans boiled at the edges. The ground split. But then, a shadow rose from the earth to meet them. The reborn ship burst from the clouds like a black spear of fire. Its hybrid thrusters ripped the sky open, trails of lightning carving across the heavens. For a heartbeat, the aliens faltered. This was not supposed to happen. "Target the lead ship," Ross commanded. His voice shook, not with fear, but fury. "Okoys." Hands flew across the human consoles. Capacitors overloaded, then dumped power into the weapon lattice. The ship fired. A beam of searing white tore through the night. It struck the alien destroyer in the chest. Armor that had resisted whole wars cracked and folded like paper. In seconds, the massive vessel split apart, exploding into a sun of fire above Earth. Humanity had struck back. The galaxy watches all. Across the stars, observers tuned in to the battle. Spies, satellites, hidden probes, every empire had eyes on Earth. That they watched as a species once mocked, once ignored, unleashed a weapon built from their enemy's trash. Whispers spread faster. Then light. The humans turned ruin into revenge. And with every alien ship that fell, fear spread wider. The storm of fire. The alien fleet did not retreat. They poured their fury into Earth. Dozens of beams slashed through the air, aiming to cut down the reborn ship, but the warship moved like no alien vessel ever had. It rolled, twisted, and dove through fire, its hybrid drives carrying it beyond the reach of their targeting systems. Where human engineers had patched systems, the ship did not fail, it adapted. Where alien tech was damaged, human steel reinforced. Every strike that should have ended it only made it burn brighter. Lena stood in the control chair, linked to the ship's systems. Sweat poured down her face, but her eyes blazed. "They abandoned you," she whispered, "but we'll never abandon you. Fight with us." The ship answered with another blast tearing through two cruisers at once. The message of fear from orbit. The alien commander watched in horror. Their fleet had come to purge a primitive world. Instead, they faced a monster built from their own cast-off weapon. "This is impossible," the commander hissed. That wreck was beyond repair. But the truth was in front of them. Humans had taken the broken, the useless, the abandoned, and turned it into something terrifying. The commander hesitated. Orders clashed in their mind. Attack? Retreat? Then, across their consoles, a message appeared, not in their language. In human English. "This is Earth's gift back to you. Revenge." The commander's eyes widened. The humans had spoken through the ship itself. And then fire consumed their vessel. Suspense. Ending as dawn broke over Earth, the battle still raged. Alien wreckage burned in the atmosphere, falling like meteors across oceans and deserts. But the fleet was not gone. More ships were still coming. In the hangar control center, General Ross stared at the battlefield feed. His voice was hard as stone. "This isn't the end. This is only the beginning." Lena looked at the glowing ship, its hull alive with symbols. Knew he was right. Humanity had shown the galaxy their first strike. But the war for survival and for vengeance was only beginning. And now the galaxy was truly afraid. Revenge unleashed. The alien fleet was broken, but not gone. Burning wreckage fell into the oceans, yet new signals flashed across the stars. Reinforcements, bigger fleets, entire armadas. The war had only just begun. The ship's new name in the ocean. Underground war room. Lena stood at the center console. Her hands still shook from the neural link, but her eyes burned with fire. The ship's console glowed faintly, spelling out a single English word across the screen. Revenge. The room fell. Silent. Soldiers, engineers, and generals alike stared at the word. Okoye whispered it aloud, almost reverently. Revenge. It's not just a ship anymore, Lena said. It's a message. To every empire that ever thought Earth was weak. To every race that left us scraps. To every alien that thought we were prey. General Ross crossed his arms, his jaw tight. Then that's what we'll call it. Not their ship, ours. Humanity's revenge. The name stuck like fire to dry grass. From that moment on, the reborn Starship wasn't just a weapon. It was a symbol. The counterattacked the alien fleets, regrouped in high orbit, ready for a second strike. They wanted to crush Earth quickly, before the humans could fully awaken the ship. But Revenge didn't wait. The hybrid drive screamed as it launched upward, faster and sharper than before. Human engineers had reprogrammed the thrusters to burn. Harder, hotter. The ship roared into orbit, blazing like a spear of light. It didn't defend Earth this time. It hunted. The first cruiser never saw it coming. A blast from Revenge's new weapon grid sliced through its engines, leaving it drifting helplessly. The second cruiser tried to flank, but Earth's steel plating shrugged off its fire. Then Revenge rammed it, tearing through alien metal with raw force. Each kill sent shockwaves across alien networks. Entire fleets began to hesitate. Fear, something they had never felt for a primitive species, spread through their ranks. The human edge, the galaxy, had fought wars for centuries. Every empire had ships. Every fleet had weapons. But what terrified them now was not the alien technology itself. It was the human touch. Humans didn't just repair the broken. They reimagined it. Where the alien systems were elegant or fragile, humans made them ugly but unstoppable. Where alien circuits failed under stress, humans added redundancies, backups, brute force solutions. Where alien crews would retreat, humans pressed forward with rage burning in their blood. Revenge was not the most advanced ship in the galaxy, but it was the most dangerous. Because it carried humanity's fury, the message across the stars. As alien ships burned, humanity broadcast a signal of their own. Simple, clear, ruthless. This is Earth. We do not forgive. We do not forget. You left your broken weapon on our world. We rebuilt it, and now it is ours. The transmission spread across colonies, stations, and council halls. In minutes, the galaxy erupted in panic. Merchants closed trade lanes. Soldiers deserted posts. Whole planets declared neutrality. And everywhere, the same whisper followed the humans' message. They turned ruin into fire. The galactic panic in hidden chambers. Alien leaders argued, "We cannot allow this to spread." One roared, "If they can rebuild one ship, how many more can they make?" Another cried, "They were supposed to be nothing." Nothing. But the truth had already escaped their control. Humanity had shown the galaxy a new reality. The smallest world could rise with stolen fire and burn giants to ash. Suspense, ending on Earth. The hangar crew watched as Revenge hovered above the clouds, its black hole glowing with human forged. Power. Lena stood beside General Ross, both staring at the sky. "They won't stop," she whispered. "They'll send more. They'll send everything." Ross nodded grimly. "Good. Let them come." The ship pulsed once, a heartbeat of light across its surface. As if it agreed. And far above, The alien fleets gathered again. Dozens, hundreds, the largest armada ever assembled. But this time, they weren't just coming to purge. They were coming because they were afraid, and fear would not save them. Humanity's warning. The armada arrived like a storm. Hundreds of alien warships filled Earth's sky, blotting out the stars. Their engines burned brighter than suns, their weapons charged with enough power to level continents. Every empire had sent something: cruisers, dreadnoughts, carriers, an entire galaxy united for one cause: destroy humanity before their revenge spread any further. From the ground, people watched in silence. No one screamed, no one ran. They stood in streets and fields, staring upward. For the first time in history, every human eye turned to the heavens with one thought: we fight, or we die. The calm before the fire inside the underground command center. Alarms wailed. The screens glowed red with warnings. They're surrounding us, an operator cried. We can't win against that many. Another whispered. General Ross didn't move. His eyes were locked on the single screen showing their ship. Humanity's ship. Bring revenge online, he ordered. His voice was steady, iron carved into sound. The hangar roared as the hybrid core spun up. The ground shook. Metal screamed. And then the ship rose. Its black hull glowing with alien runes and human code merged into one. Lena Miles climbed into the neural chair. The moment the link touched her mind, the ship's voice filled her thoughts. They fear. They come with chains. Do you command me? Yes, Lena whispered. Together. The last stand, the armada moved first. Hundreds of beams cut through the atmosphere, burning the sky into fire. Entire cities trembled as shockwaves rolled across the oceans. But then, from the clouds, revenge burst upward like a spear of light. Its thrusters screamed, tearing through the void, its weapons already glowing with fire. The first alien dreadnought fell in seconds, cut in half by a white-hot lance of energy. The second tried to flank, but revenge spun, rolling faster than its size should allow, and tore through its shields with brute force. The battlefield became chaos. One ship against hundreds, and yet every shot from revenge struck true. Every move carried human rage. It wasn't elegant, it wasn't pretty, but it was unstoppable. The warning to the galaxy, as fleets shattered, Earth broadcast again. Lena's voice carried across every channel, translated into every tongue. This is Earth. You thought us weak. You abandoned your broken things here, thinking we would never rise. But we are not prey. We are not slaves. We are human. The cameras showed revenge tearing through the armada, a trail of burning wreckage left in its wake. And then Lena's voice hardened. Come again. And we will not just defend Earth. We will bring the war to you. The turning point on alien bridges. Panic broke. Crews abandoned their stations. Admirals screamed for retreat. The proud fleets that once ruled the stars scattered like frightened animals. Some ships fled without firing. Others self-destructed to avoid capture. And for the first time in centuries, the galaxy knew fear not from an empire, but from a single world. Revenge hovered in the ruins of the armada, its hull glowing with scars, but still alive. From Earth's surface, it looked like a second moon, dark, vast, and watching. Aftermath: the Council, broken and humiliated, sent envoys days later. They begged for truce. They offered tribute. It promised never to trespass on Earth again. But Ross stood in front of the cameras, his uniform torn, his face grim. There will be no chains for humanity. No more experiments. No more wars forced upon us. If you come again, know this. We will not rebuild your scraps. We will bury you with them. A final image high above. Revenge drifted in silence, its lights pulsing like a heartbeat. Lena stood in the control chair, her hand pressed to the console. The ship's voice whispered softly in her mind, "That we are not broken. We are whole. With you," she smiled faintly. "And with us, you are human now." The ship hummed, steady and alive. Earth had given the galaxy its warning. And from that day forward, no empire dared leave a single piece of wreckage on humanity's soil, because the galaxy had learned a truth carved in fire. Humans do not waste gifts. Humans turn them into weapons. And when the stars come for them, humanity always answers with revenge.